Hey guys, Mac McCarty here again with the Rough and Tumble channel. I want to thank you for joining in. I've told quite a number of stories. Some of them I may need to tell again. But the story today is someone that had a great influence on me in my very early years. Knew him for 19 years. A little over 19 years, and that's my mom's dad, my granddad. James Lewis Goodson was his name, and out there in the oil patch they called him Louis Goodson. And I actually met, in my younger years, working in the field, I actually met people that knew Granddaddy and remembered him. Now, Granddaddy and Granny had 9 children, and Mother was the oldest of the 9, and so they were interesting people. Granddaddy was a Baptist preacher. I don't think in his early years. Later on, he was 32nd degree Scottish Rites Mason. He had a lot of influence on an awful lot of people. And he left a legacy that is still living on today. I mean, the family can't get together without talking about Granddaddy. You know, he was a man that you remembered, and he was quite a character. It wasn't beyond him to pull a stunt on you, some kind of joke or prank, you know, and mess with you, tease you, you know. He was just very likable, and ornery as he could be. I'll tell you, folks, I just loved him very much. You know, I had just a lot of respect for the man, and it was really tough to lose him when I was 19 years old. But I'm real thankful for the fact that my wife and I were engaged shortly before he died, and I had taken her up to see him at their place at Carroll, Texas. And Granddaddy liked Cindy. Said, boy, she's cute as a speckled pup under a little red wagon. And Cindy never forgot that. But he was a man that he just had a way with people. But he stood for something. He stood for something. He had values, and was just a very hard worker, and just fine individual. I'll never forget him as long as I live. And I remember sitting with Granddad, visiting with him, and he would tell me stories about the oil patch. And he was out there in West Texas when they were using mule skinners to move the rigs. They didn't have hotels to stay in. They camped out in the field. Talked about the wolves would smell and come up as they smelled the onions in the campfire, you know, cooking meals. And if that man told you a story, good night, you could smell it. You could feel it. You could just see what he was talking about. He had that gift. And I love to hear the stories. I love to hear them. Well, Granddaddy has been gone a long time, and I'll show you a little picture I've got here. That's Louis Goodson, James Louis Goodson. Can you see it? Well, I hope so. Anyway, that's a picture I have that Mother gave me, and it's just been a long time. Now, behind me in these videos, you'll see, if you look at this man right up here, see, that's on your right, looking from the camera, I believe. Anyway, that's Granddaddy right there with the crew of Humble Hands, Humble Oil and Refining Company. That's my granddad. And right here building the derrick, he was a rig builder. And this guy right here, that's also Granddaddy up there. Now, back in those days, they didn't wear the hard hats and all that stuff. They just had their hats on, but they always wear the overalls. In fact, you wonder why I like overalls? That's the man right there. He loved overalls. And growing up, seeing Granddaddy, I love overalls too. Of course, I worked the oil field an awful lot for decades. And Granddaddy had a great influence. He could tell me every pocket and what went in what pocket. And it was just a big influence on me. And he helped me to build what we called the pad out in an outbuilding when I was in my early years of high school, so I could have my own bedroom. And he came over. He was retired, I'd say mid-60s at the time. He lived till he was 69, and helped me. Well, really probably built it, you know, because I didn't know much. And I was so impressed with how hard he worked. Boy, I mean, when he got after something, he got after it all the way. So this video, this episode of the Rough and Tumble is a tribute to my grandfather, James Lewis Goodson. He had a son, James Lewis Goodson Jr., that also worked for Humble and was roughnecking. My cousin Mitchell could tell you about that. You know, he was next to the oldest boy out of 4 for Uncle Lewis. And Uncle Lewis and my Uncle Mac were good friends out in West Texas. My Uncle Mac also worked for Humble and then Exxon. And quite a history, quite a family history. And then through Dad's family, there were a number of other people that worked for Humble, Exxon. And even in my sister married a guy that worked for Exxon. So we've had a lot of history in the oil field, just a ton of history in the oil patch. But to all of you listening, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. This channel is to help bring these people, you know, keep the memories alive. And this one is a tribute to my grandfather, James Lewis Goodson. I'll never forget him. You know, he had a way that was winning, but he wasn't a yes person, not at all. He was an individual. He was an individual with personality, and you better be careful, because he would surprise you with something. He was ornery, very ornery. Granddaddy, I miss you. I miss you. I miss all these other people. It's sad, but on the other side, I look forward to seeing all of these folks again. But I wanted to dedicate this episode to my grandfather and to the family. Thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Mac McCarty, saying so long for the Rough and Tumble channel.